cultivate confidence and leadership. To nurture growth. To blossom. When you enrolled your 3-year-old in Montessori, you were planting seeds of lifelong learning. With great care and nurturing, as your child progressed through his 2nd year, you watched him grow into an eager young learner. A 5-year-old's experience in a Montessori primary classroom is the culmination of her hard work at age 3 and 4. A time to blossom. Montessori for the kindergarten year. Montessori does not view kindergarten as the beginning of an elementary education, but rather as a completion of the preschool curriculum. It is during this critical 3rd year in the primary classroom that children begin to put the pieces of their preschool experience together. Empowered by their accomplishments, they emerge as confident young individuals with strong academic and social skills. Social development. The unique structure of the Montessori program allows for great social interaction. As a child progresses through the 3-year cycle, she learns to work independently and in small groups, as a team player and a group leader. Through this diversity of roles, she experiences different aspects of healthy social relationships. She is developing skills which will allow her to succeed in any group situation.
There's the wonderful social advantage for the child when you come in at 3 and you're new in the classroom. There's a lot of bigger kids there who will help you out, and they do. They just love to help out the little children who are in the class. And the next year when you're 4, well, you feel like you're a big kid because you've been there before and you know the ropes, and now you get to help somebody. But you still have those bigger kids in the room that you're looking up to, and you're watching what they're doing, and you want to do the things they're doing. And then finally your chance comes to be the big kid in the class. And it's so rewarding. It's so good for their self-esteem to go through all 3 years of that cycle and to reach that point where they're the senior child in the class and they're the leaders. And it's when they've been through each of the other 2 places in the class, they really cherish that experience. It's a wonderful learning opportunity for them.
Your child has worked very hard to reach this special year, where he becomes one of the leaders in the class. Now the younger children look up to him for guidance. As 5-year-olds proudly teach lessons they have mastered to their younger classmates, they are reinforcing their knowledge of the material, reaching a greater level of understanding, and developing greater confidence in their leadership abilities.
It's been interesting to watch them go through these years here as they, in the 3-year program, they go in very shy and they're the ones being coached, and then they become the coaches later on. I see them early on learning to be young little leaders. It's great.
Academic development. Montessori education is based on true understanding of material rather than rote memorization. In a primary classroom, 3- and 4-year-olds work with sensorial learning materials. These concrete experiences offer young students an excellent preparation for academic skills. By the 3rd year, these experiences enable the children to form a mental picture of concepts such as, how big is 1,000? Or, what is really going on when we borrow or carry numbers in mathematical operations?
In the 3 to 6 program in a Montessori school, that developmental stage has to do with hands-on learning, very much based in concrete thinking. They don't think abstractly. They're right on the verge of going into the next developmental stage. So what they get from that 3rd year is the completion of the concrete materials and that bridge into the abstraction.
Lessons are designed to grow with the child. During the 3 years of the Montessori Early Childhood program, as children work with hands-on learning materials, it is easy to recognize the sequential increase of difficulty. For example, A 3-year-old works on a sensorial level with the long rods, exploring differences in length. Later she uses the red and blue rods of the same length as she learns to count from 1 to 10. An older child uses similar tabletop number rods. This lesson requires a deeper level of understanding of mathematical concepts and more refined motor skills. He will use this material for simple addition and subtraction. 5-year-old children work toward memorization of addition and subtraction facts, which clearly reflect their initial experience with the rods at the age of 3.
A general rule of thumb with Montessori is that the earlier a child begins with Montessori and the more years, the longer that they stay in Montessori, the stronger you can predict the impact will be. Generally speaking, when Montessori children begin to become kindergartners and elementary and beyond, they have got a cultural literacy, they retain that sense of vibrancy, joy, a real sense of internalized order, a child who is capable of following through methodically on a task.
Children can repeat lessons many times over the course of the 3-year program. Through trial and error, they learn to focus on the process of the lesson and master skills in depth.
We're realizing that children are developing at their own pace. They have their own sensitive periods, and that this whole time span between the age of birth and 6 is so crucial. And there have been some brain studies done talking about brain cell development, which really correlate very closely to what Montessori had been saying for such a long time, that when children use certain areas of their brain, those cells will develop. If they are not used, then those cells will not develop to as great an extent. So the sensitive periods in our classrooms really do go along with this. It's that the children have this need to learn certain things at certain times, that their brain chemistry is telling them this, and that what we're doing is enabling them to grow.
Montessori children can work independently with materials that are self-correcting. Working with these learning materials enables the children to realize that mistakes are an opportunity for learning. This deepens their understanding of a concept and allows them the joy of discovering something by themselves.
Montessori observed children 90 years ago, and what she saw, she didn't have any research to back up. It was just theory. But we've been practicing Montessori for those 90 years, and we have noticed that everything that she saw has been true. What's happening now in the 90s is, which is very exciting for us, is that there have been many research projects going on studying brain development in young children. And what that research is showing is that everything that Montessori observed and theorized about is being backed up now by the most current brain development research.
Individuality and self-confidence. Each child is a universe of one. Montessori materials enable children to learn using all their senses, working at their own pace. With reinforcement as they grow older, this knowledge becomes internalized and a permanent part of who they are.
The 3rd year is truly magical. As a teacher, when you've worked with a child at 3 and at 4, and you see them come back in the fall for that 3rd year of the cycle, it's just as if they really are like little explorers they've discovered a new world. And then that 3rd year, they open up and they reveal this person who sometimes really dazzles even someone who's been working with them for such a long time. And it's so exciting, and they are so excited. It's really wonderful to watch it because it's something that happens within them, and they start to get a sense of who they are.
Many tasks which seem simple to us as adults really challenge children on many levels. For example, as your child scrubs a table, he learns many lessons. Not only is he developing his gross motor skills, He is learning self-discipline and finding satisfaction in seeing a large task through to completion. Montessori students learn to select activities independently, organize their own work, follow the process step by step, and complete the task by putting everything away. As they work to improve these skills during the 3-year cycle, they learn that they are capable and independent and develop a willingness to try more complex tasks.
Montessori education is similar to building a house in some ways. The first year a child is in the 3 to 6 program, you put down a foundation, which is very, very important. The second year a child is in a Montessori 3 to 6 classroom, what you're doing is putting up the framework of the house. In that third year of Montessori education, what you're building in the house is you're putting in all the details, all the things that make it comfortable for the person, that make it beautiful, that make it rich, that make it enhanced. And that's what that third year does for a child in the Montessori program.
In completing the primary program, Montessori children have spent 3 or 4 years in a school where they were treated with honesty and respect. They have developed close bonds to their teachers and classmates. While there were clear expectations and ground rules, within that framework, their opinions and questions were taken seriously. Normally, they will have an incredible sense of self-confidence and enthusiasm for learning. They have learned how to learn.
And that's what I found when I walked into my first Montessori classroom, was this feeling of greatness. I just felt like the world was just wide open for my child, that no matter what my child liked, wanted to do, that they would be able to gain or develop the skills and develop themselves to take them wherever they wanted to go.
By allowing your children this time to blossom, to complete the 3-year cycle of the Montessori curriculum, you are giving them strong educational roots from which to grow. They have had the chance to truly internalize their lessons and are prepared with the tools to excel in any environment.